everybody, this is Dr. Harry. Can antioxidants help to repair some of the damage done by lack of sleep? Well, the researchers at Harvard University may have the answers for us. So this is what they did. They looked at fruit flies, and before you say fruit flies, let me tell you that fruit flies have a lot of genetic information that is similar to humans, and that many studies start off in the fruit fly and then usually done in mice and then confirmed in human beings. So the researchers at Harvard University, this is what they did. They looked at fruit flies that usually have a lifespan of about 40 days or so. And what they did, they kept them awake. And at day 10 of keeping them awake, they noticed that the fruit flies started to die prematurely. And by day 20, they had all died. And so the question they asked was, what was causing these fruit flies to die? What about lack of sleep was changing the bodies of these fruit flies that was causing them to die? And this is what they discovered. They looked at all the areas. They looked at the brain and they looked at the heart. But what they found was that there was significant damage found in the intestinal, the small intestine and the colon of the fruit fly that actually contributed to their deaths. So they found an increase in what we call reactive oxygen species. And that is primarily some toxic compounds that are caused when the body is using oxygen to create many reactions. And so these reactive ROS, reactive oxygen species, what they do is that they damage DNA. And when DNA is damaged, then that can increase our risk of chronic illnesses and increase our risk of death. But interestingly, they then asked the question, if we reduced the amount of ROS, or reactive oxygen species, would this then cause the fruit flies to live longer? And they found that the answer to this was yes. If they reduce the amount of damage using antioxidants, if they reduce the amount of damage, they found that these fruit flies were actually lived to their full lifespan of 40 days. Isn't that interesting? Now, please note that they did not live beyond the 40 days. So what it seemed to be doing was neutralizing some of the damage that was being done. What antioxidants, you may ask, did they find? Well, they found that alpha lipoic acid, melatonin, the sleep hormone. Yes, the sleep hormone is an excellent antioxidant, which is probably why when melatonin comes out when we're sleeping, and so when we kept awake, the amount of melatonin that we make decreases. So they found melatonin, alpha lipoic acid, and a substance called NAD contributed significantly to reducing the damage, and therefore the fruit flies were able to live to their full life expectancy. They also found a similar result in mice. Now, does that mean that this applies to human beings? Well, we do know that lack of sleep causes an increase of chronic conditions for us. So it puts us at increased risk for things like cardiovascular disease and high blood pressure and diabetes, and of course, obesity. So while at this point we cannot say that the same is true for human beings, I would caution and say that we do know now that lack of sleep causes significant increase in chronic conditions for us. So it's really important that we get our sleep. So hopefully this has been informative for you. And this is Dr. Harry, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.